I'm telling you, this is controversial in the craft world. I'm not kidding you. Card making has come such a long way. Now some companies are making products that help streamline the card making process, like pre-cut dies, pre-colored die cuts, foiled images already cut for you, pattern paper, layering stencils, all these things that can help make your card making faster. But the argument to be said is, if you buy these products, aren't you taking away the creativity that you have? Aren't you just making it look like the cards are being made by a machine? You might be surprised what my take on this is. So let's get right into it. What are some of the things I'm talking about? Sometimes you can buy pre-cut and foiled sentiments, like I'm showing here. I bought these. These are from the stamp market. Now, there's really not much I can do to change how it looks, except maybe cover the white with some ink or something. But that doesn't mean if I use this, my card is not going to be special or unique, because everything else about my card will be. So, I mean, I don't foil. I'm not a huge foiler. I'll get into that in a minute. But so this was a no-brainer for me. So I grabbed it, I bought it, and I don't feel bad about it. Pattern paper is another thing. Now, I usually create my own backgrounds, but there are times I just don't want to. So if you and I have the same pattern paper pad, there's no way around it. We have the exact same pattern, but that doesn't mean our cards are going to look the same. Creativity goes far more than just this background. I'll put a sentiment on it. Maybe I'll color the pattern paper. I don't know. But just because you have the same pattern paper as me does not mean it's stripping your creativity to create a unique card. Some companies are starting to release pre-cut and colored images. And I don't have a problem with this, because a lot of people don't want a die cutting machine, or can't afford a die cutting machine, or just don't want to die cut. So these companies are making this feature available to everyone. Now, it's already pre-cut and pre-colored, so you can't do anything about that. So I think that's where the argument ties in. Hey, if you get that, you can't be creative. But I don't find that true, because the whole rest of your card can be creative. You can add a creative background to it. You can layer differently. I find it very hard to believe that someone is going to layer all these images the same exact way as you are. You can change the background. You can add sequins. Maybe you can, I don't know, add little paint flicks over the top, whatever. I'm just reaching, but it's not going to be the same as someone else's, is what I'm trying to say. If I wanted to simplify what I do down even further, these are the things I would have bought myself. I would have bought these pre-made shaker pouches or domes. There's lots of products out there that will help you simplify your shaker cards. If you're not good at it, if you just don't want to take the time to do it, there's a ton of stuff out there. But for me, with the limited amount of shaker cards that I do, and plus I'm not very good at it, I just take some clear packaging or some clear plastic, and I add some foam dimension around the window on the inside, throw in my shaker bits, and glue it all together, and that just works fine for me. If I made a ton of shakers, maybe I would consider simplifying that process a little more, but I don't. Foiling is a big, huge trend, and they have multiple machines that help make foiling easy. I stick to my $20 laminator, and this works great for me. If I was a huge foiler, I might invest in something more, but I'm not, and this just works for me. So I don't find the need to simplify, but if I did, there's nothing wrong with that. Another new machine that just came out is a letterpress machine from Spellbinders. Super cool if you're into letterpressing. This is a little bit different because you are capable of letterpressing with a stamped image. So again, cool, but I'm not going to rush out and buy it because I have 3D embossing folders already in my stash, and those work just fine for me. Embossing folders are inexpensive, and I feel like you can do a lot more with embossing folders as far as customizing it to be more creative, because I can ink them up. I have a whole video on using your embossing folders in fun ways, but this works for me. It's inexpensive. I'm still able to utilize all that creativity and think out of the box. So, in a nutshell, do I feel like some of the products that companies have released to help simplify your card making, do I think that it is going to keep you inside a box and not let you be creative? No. I'm telling you, this is controversial in the craft world. I'm not kidding you. And I think the other two ladies that I'm collaborating with have a completely different opinion, and that's fine. Not everyone has the same resources, and just because you buy these things to help you maybe speed along your card making process, maybe you're a mass producer, I don't think that makes you less of a creative person. I don't think that makes you a cheater card maker. Just because something works for one person doesn't mean that it's going to work for you. Just because I like die cutting doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a die cutting machine, because now some companies have given you alternatives to going ahead and getting the pre-cut die cuts. So as crazy as this controversy is in the crafting community, it's really a no-brainer to me. I think you need to do you, be you, don't worry what other people think, and if it makes you happy, then that's what you should do. Do I think you're cutting corners? No. Do I think you're not being a creative card maker? No. So you have my permission and my blessing to do whatever you want to do. And I have no idea what the other two ladies you're going to see. I'm going to see it live when they publish it, just like everybody else. So it's going to be interesting to see what the spin is. But be sure to check out their videos. They're linked right here on the screen and below in the description. And I hope this helped you in some way. Maybe you agree, maybe you don't, but hey, it's all right. Just do you.